Hey everyone, welcome back to Redbanditracing. Welcome back to the channel. We got the Losi 8ight-XE here, and I'm going to be doing something I have never done before. We're going to extend some wires. Now, when I mean extending, I mean taking these off and putting some new ones on. We're going to get into this in a second. I also got some new bullet connectors I'm going to try. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to try, but we'll go over both of them and see which ones not just fit better, but seem like they'll work better. So I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use yet. I got this battery a while ago. I really want to run it. It's the Gens Ace Redline, but it does take bullet connectors, which is really what I want to run. And by switching this out and making these wires longer so I can run these types of batteries, it gives me a wider option of batteries. I can run shorty packs, low center gravity batteries. So it really opens up for different styles, because right now I feel like there's only a few batteries I can run in this. I want to get that center of gravity really low, especially if I'm going to be taking this on the track more. I want to put this in. I want to see how this is going to work. All right, first things first, let's check out this battery. Like I said, this is Gens Ace Redline. This is a 4S LiPo. Definitely like how they package it. This is a really nice hard shell battery. Look at, what is this? Okay, to balance. So this is a 6,000 milliamp battery at 130C burst. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else it comes with. Looks like it does come with some bullets. Let me see if I can't grab those. Grab those out. So it does come with some bullets that you can use. We won't be using these, but we'll definitely check them out. Maybe they'll work with some of the plugs that we have. Yeah, it also comes with a balancing port. Also comes with some cool stickers and some instructions. So here we got the car. Now if I want to run this battery, let's go ahead and just install the battery here. But if I were to put the battery, let's say right there, because that way I have a little bit of room in the back, but I can still get to the bullets, because otherwise the straps are covering the bullets. As you guys can see, the connector can't reach the battery. So that's why we're changing this. I want more battery options, and this just isn't going to do it. Now, as far as this wire goes, this is for the battery sensor, which is it's great to have on your remote if you like that sort of thing, but honestly, we don't even use it. I think on the crate, that wire is broken like 2 or 3 times, so we just kind of left it off. Not worry about this. I'll probably just leave this off because I really don't need it. Let's see what kind of stuff that we're going to be putting on here. Now, I did get the TQ wiring. Now, this is the 10 gauge. I did get the red and black because that will help just to eliminate any kind of possible mistakes. If I have someone help me out maybe on this car, or they want to run it, I don't want 2 black wires on here and then maybe they put the bullets in wrong, because when you're dealing with bullets, you can easily put them in the wrong spot. But to help aid that also, I did get the bullet connectors that are a little bit easier to grab. You can use these, there's nothing wrong with them, but I want to be able to grab it. My fingers are kind of big, so I want something easier to grab. A lot of people are running the Rcproplus heatsink bullet plugs, not for the heatsink itself, but because they're easy to grab and you can angle them. These are the same thing. I can open this real quick. I had it open before. I haven't seen too much information on these, so that's why I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. So it does come with a lot of little stuff. It does come with some heat shrink tube. Here's your pull sleeves, which I really like because they're big, they're easy to grab. Here are your bullets, and these are the pins that you're going to be soldering on. I'll be honest, guys, I had to really look this stuff up to find out how this went. Let me see if I can't replicate it right now. Okay, I had to test it really quick because there is no information online, so I kind of just fiddle around with it because I had it figured out at one point. So what you're going to do is you take this 5mm bullet, you hold it close to the camera, 5mm bullet. You're going to put it in this slot right here with the flat piece facing down. Facing down. And as you can see, there's a hole in the top. So with that facing down, you're going to solder your wire into this guy right here. And then you're going to put it into the bottom here, like that. Now on the top, you're going to screw this screw down. And that's going to hold everything together, because in this piece that the wire goes to, that's a threaded hole. So that's what holds everything on. So the bullet would go into your car like this, which is actually kind of nice. I'm going to mess around with this for a little bit and see which one I end up using. These are kind of nice. I do like the design. So it really just depends on which one I'm going to use. These are kind of bigger to grab rather than these. These are really self-explanatory. These are going pretty simple. These look like they might be easier to grab. So I'm gonna play around with a little bit, see which ones I'm gonna use, and we're gonna put it in the car in this video. And hopefully we can get those wires taken off that ESC with no issues. So let's just jump into it. To make this a little bit easier, I'm gonna remove the ESC from the car. That way I have better access to this wire on this side because it is kind of in the way of that servo horn. And I wanna make sure I have really good access to this so I don't damage anything. And I'll just probably get a zip tie and strap it around it so that it holds it down so it doesn't move while I'm soldering. First thing I'm gonna do is carefully take a nice sharp razor blade. I'm gonna get that heat shrink off. There we go. Got it off, just to get the other one off. Put this tape right here just to keep these wires from accidentally getting too hot from the solder gun. There we go. All right, so got those exposed. This wire, like I said, I'm really not too worried about this wire. And if you guys look down right here, right there, positive. And on this side, there should be a negative, negative. The soldering tip that I'm gonna use, which is really recommended, is a nice large surface, there you go, a nice large surface tip, because that's gonna give you more area to apply the heat. Now the temperature I'm gonna put this at, it's gonna be pretty high. We're gonna try 750. If you guys wanna see it, there's my gauge right there. So it's about 751. I think the main thing with the soldering part, you want to solder a gun that has high temp because you don't want to leave the gun on there too long because you could damage other things. You can get the wires too hot, get the component too hot. You want that direct heat really fast, nice and hot to get the connector off. Tin this a little bit. Here we go. By tinning the gun a little bit, it transferred the heat a lot faster. So with that right there, we can probably leave all that in there. We can leave that in there. Here we go. That came off really clean. Let's get our new wire. Same size. This is 10 gauge. Let's go ahead and get these ready. So what I'm gonna do is take the tip, roll it around on the razor blade. Many different ways you can do this, but there you go. Just like that. Now on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and get these tinned. That way when I put them on, it'll go on nice and easy. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and tin these. I got a little bit of flux on there to help transfer it. Let's get this nice and hot. I'm sorry if you guys can hear the fan. It is starting to get hot in here again, so. I think that one came out pretty nice. Now, in no way am I a professional at soldering these. I like soldering wires, but on RC cars it's a little bit different. But you want that nice and shiny. You want that solder shiny. You don't want it dull. If it's dull, I would definitely redo it. You want it nice and shiny. That way you got enough solder on there. That way when you put it on, it melts on there perfect. Start with the negative side, then we'll go to the positive side. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more solder to this one. That one's almost full. I'm definitely gonna add more to that one. And what I'm gonna try and do is get that really nice and hot and then just go ahead and dip the wire in. It's gonna make it a lot easier. The last thing you wanna do is get it too hot where the wire becomes stiff, because we need these wires to be able to tuck down. If they don't tuck down and they stick up too high because the wire gets hard from all the solder, the body's not gonna sit right, because unfortunately there's not a lot of clearance above this ESC. So we're gonna have to make sure that we do this right. The easiest way to get this to melt real quick is to pre-tin. Yeah, there's plenty of solder in there, so let's go to the other one. All right, that one looks pretty good. Actually, that's not bad. Yeah, I kind of nicked the ESC and the plastic a little bit right there, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, not bad. That negative one looks really nice. The positive one is actually on there really well. I didn't go too far in the back, which is good. It's nice and shiny, and I did get it all the way to the back, so it's definitely secure. Let's go throw some heat shrink on that. All right, I'm gonna put the heat shrink all the way down right there. I'm gonna use a heat gun. You don't wanna use a flame, obviously, near the ESC. Put it on low. Let's test that out. Yeah, this one's a little high. If you guys can see that, that sits a little high. This one sits nice and flat. So this one probably got a little too hot during the solder, but it's on there well. The only way to test it is to go ahead, finish this up, and put the body on and make sure it sits flat. Now, if I put my battery in, which was right about here, these wires I'm probably gonna secure back to this bracket, means this is how much wire I have left. That's if I anchor it right there, which is kind of where it was before. Let's put this battery in like we were gonna run it right now. Angled connectors right about there. You know what, let's leave them the way that they are. For the bullets I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna go with the Supra X because these are the ones that the battery came with and they are definitely longer. If you look at these, the 1-up racings are definitely shorter, as you can see right there. Definitely shorter, but now on the Supra X, once these are in, which is gonna look like this, so they're gonna be right about there. So I think that's what I wanna use. Now, if I end up needing to switch, I'll switch, but let me know what you guys think. What do you guys use? If you guys even use these. I do like this style. This style is kind of nice. They slide in right here. After you solder it on to the bullet, you would slide this in right there. And then there's a set screw. You screw down the set screw. We're gonna try them. If I don't like them, I'm gonna switch to these. So I think we're gonna go ahead and try these first. All right, so let's go ahead and get these done. Honestly, it doesn't take much to cut these. I got a good amount of solder on there. That actually looks really good right there. With that on there, let's see if this goes on. Because what I'm worried about, that being too tall. Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about. It's that top piece right there. Maybe we can press that down a little bit more. I did press down a little bit more. Let's see if that fits now. I don't like the way these are going on, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure they'll go on, but man, that's more than just a tight fit. All right, guys, we are gonna go with the Supra. I would have to grind this wire down far too much to get that to work, and I definitely am not doing that. So we're gonna use this one. I'm gonna kind of flatten this out a little bit and get this ready. I had to switch because that jig did not work. This thing got hot and the magnet already came off the bottom, so not the best quality from hot racing as far as the jig goes. So I'm back to a block of wood and I'm just gonna kind of hold it down. All right, so that looks much better, especially on the sides right here because it's gotta be thin enough to go inside. That should work. There. That's nice and tight. All right, so now you can go ahead and put Put your heat shrink on. All right, I'm actually gonna put just a little bit more heat shrink on the ends here, just to make sure that the wires are protected. It's gonna go inside here facing down, and this is gonna go inside. And here we go, that's what they look like. I mean, they look really nice. I must say that. They look really, really nice. Go ahead and put this in. There you go. Everything's working good. Now, like I said, the only drawback is, yes, you don't have the battery indicator on the remote anymore, but that's okay. The only thing you're going to want to be really careful on is unplugging a battery like this, because once you unplug it, you don't want this to touch anything ground, you'll start arcing. So you just got to be really mindful of that. All right, guys, well, that'll do it for that. That looks a lot better. I'm going to be able to use this battery finally. I've been waiting to use this. This is a really nice battery. Should offer a lot of punch and a lot of kick. The plug keeps coming out. Might get a couple more of these, and I'm definitely going to try out some shorty packs. So if you guys have some recommendations for the shorty packs, let me know. I'll definitely try those. And I do have one more package of those connectors so I can make a little jumper if I'm going to run those. The 1up Racing bullet connectors, I think 10 gauge might be a little bit too big, and I didn't want to have to trim down the solder on the wire with the grinder just to make it fit. So I don't want to do that. I'm pretty sure these would work really, really well on anything other than 10 gauge. 10 gauge is kind of big. So maybe your smaller 10 scale cars, these probably work just fine. I'm pretty sure I could have maybe squeezed these down a little bit more to give them the fit. I didn't want to risk it. And those other connectors actually turn out really well. I do like these. I do like that the bullets are definitely a lot longer. What I'm going to end up doing is spread these out just a little bit to make sure they're a tight fit. And if you guys were wondering, while I have the battery connected and they're connected, they won't touch. No matter which way you put them, they're far enough to where they will not touch, so you don't have to worry about that. Like I said, this is a great battery. I'm hoping to get some good run times out of it. And I plan on getting one more, but please recommend some shorty packs, which one you guys have used. Genzace does make a few, but I know ProTech makes some really nice ones too. So yeah, recommend a battery, that'd be great. And hopefully we'll get this thing back at the track. But everything turned out good. This is really simple. Well, I hope this video answers some questions, because I don't see a lot of videos talking about bullet connectors. So I hope that helped you guys out. I'm testing them as I go. So if these don't work out, I might switch to something else. Maybe I might get these to work. I don't know. Maybe there's some different ones I might try. But I will update you guys on how this is going, how it's running, if it's worth doing, and seeing if these bullets hold up and stay in. We got a lot of repairs coming, a lot of cool videos coming, a lot of bashing. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Really helps us out. Check out our Patreon, check out our Instagram page, and we'll see you guys on the next one.